make your way up to the top of your mat, we'll just take a few moments to prepare for our practice, just settling in, creating a strong foundation for yourself, feeling the ground beneath you. And as you're making this connection to the earth, also connect to your breath. Take a few moments, just take some slow, steady breaths, getting reacquainted with your breathing, the feeling and the sound of the breath. Good. Wonderful way just to tune in, kind of narrow your scope a bit, moving inward, allowing the things that are going on outside of you to remain outside, so you can focus and pay attention to what's going on inside. Acknowledging that this is your practice. This is for you. And also a reminder that what I offer is just suggestions on what you can do during this practice. But if you feel like you need to do something else, or need to modify or rest at any time in this class, please feel free to do that. So just continue to breathe slowly, deeply. You might inhale and feel the breath rising to expand and open your lungs. And as you exhale, connecting to your center by drawing your navel inward towards your spine, engaging the abdominal lock. Again, a breath in, helping you to feel a little taller, lighter, an expansiveness in your lungs and heart space. Your exhale, drawing inward, connecting a little bit more deeply with your center body. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths like that, using these breaths to prepare your body to move. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Just treat it like a nice stretch, lengthening, reaching high. Exhale, let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and perhaps take your time as you fold and make your way downward. Here, inhale and slide your hands up to your shins or knees and extend your spine. Feel like you're coming forward. Exhale, fold again, make your way back down. Holding in Uttanasana, or standing forward fold. And just feel this release. Maybe allowing a heaviness in the body. And with that heaviness, gravity drawing you downward towards the earth through the crown of your head. Even a looseness in your shoulders. And feel free to maybe circle your shoulders a few times. Yeah, roll them backward and forward. Even nod your head and shake your head gently here. A little release. Getting ready to move, a weight shift into your heels. Bend your knees, feel like you're going to sit down. Look forward to help extend your spine. You might even take your arms out to the side. Then an inhale to stand up tall, reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart or down by your side, either one. Just hold for a moment, a breath or two. We're going to go through that half salute once again. Our practice today is going to focus on back bends or heart openers. So as we take our forward folds, like we're about to in a moment, just think of that as a kind of a counter pose to our back bends, or even a preparation for back bends. Here we go. Inhale, reaching into the air. Feel that lengthening, that stretch quality through the sides of your body. Exhale, fold forward. Always okay to bend your knees as you make your way down. And this bowing sensation. Inhale, lift up halfway. Then our exhale back down to a forward fold. We'll just pause once again, not too long. Again, the heaviness in the body. This forward fold. Notice the curvature in the spine, perhaps. A lengthening and stretch in your hamstrings. And then a weight shift into your heels. Bend your knees. Let's inhale and reverse our swan dive. And come all the way back up. There we go. Reaching up a bit higher. And exhale, hands to your heart or down by your side. Let's go ahead and continue adding on to our sequence. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. And exhale, fold forward. Take your time, go at your own pace. Inhale, let's extend the spine, moving forward. Exhale, fold and bend your knees, enough to bring your hands to the mat, step or walk, or even hop both feet back into plank pose, a high push-up position. There you'll start to draw that strong straight line in the body. Even imagine you're standing, like in mountain pose, how you have that good lengthening in the body. Breathe in, and exhale, bend your knees a little to send your hips up into the air. That's our shortcut to downward facing dog. Yeah, you might adjust your feet, even your hands on your mat, so you feel like you're settling into the pose. You can hold here in stillness or add some movement here, perhaps pedal the feet, pressing one heel down, then the other. Just feel the hands strongly press into the earth. Strong, straight arms, that lengthening through the sides of your body. We're going to move here. So inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, core connection, draw belly in, bend your knees so you can walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of the mat into your forward fold. Good. Inhale, just extend the spine. Once again, feel like you're coming forward. Exhale, back down we go. Keep moving, weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, come up, reach high. This exhale, take chair pose. You can take a high seat or a low seat, either one. But let's change our arm posture. Just bend your elbows, be at 90 degrees there, and then draw them back a little bit, feeling as if your heart is moving forward. But as you draw the arms back, feel what's happening in your back body. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, muscles are engaging. You might even feel this in your shoulders. Let's breathe in. And the exhale, dive out of your seat, back down towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening. Long spine, exhale, let's fold. Get close to the earth, hands down, walk, step, or jump back into plank pose. Draw that straight line. Breathe in. The exhale, you can take the shortcut to down dog or bend your elbows, squeeze them in towards ribs, lower your way down. Chaturanga Dandasana, and choose a back bend. And inhale, could be cobra, might be upward facing dog. And exhale onto your toes, lift the knees, then your hips into the air. Hold for a moment, adjust your feet and hands, put a little bit more bend in the knees and send your hips up a little higher as you're able. Meanwhile, hands press more firmly into the ground. You're getting a little longer through the sides of the body. These are just wonderful ways to prepare for our upcoming back bends. Let's inhale now to extend right leg up, reaching back to the back wall. Exhale, let's guide right foot up to the top of the mat. There we go for our lunge. Left heel will turn to the floor. Be sure to shift your weight back into that foot. Yeah, so your hands are now light. You can easily hinge from hips and rise up to a warrior one. We're going to exhale and fold, make our way back down. Plant your hands, slide your right foot back. Here's plank. Finish your push-up if you'd like. You can modify that. You can certainly bring knees to the floor first, then lower your chest. Maybe your back bend is just a low cobra or locust pose. And your exhale, a return to downward facing dog. So once again, adjusting the feet and hands. More bend in the knees, hips a little higher. Strong press of the hands into the earth. Inhale, extend left leg into the sky. Exhale, let's step through. Left foot to the top of the mat, good. Right heel will turn to the floor, shift the weight back so there's more pressure in that back foot. Hands are light now, there we go. Rising up, reaching towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold, wonderful. Hands to the earth. Slide the left foot back to meet the other. Finish the sequence as you'd like. You can just take that shortcut to down dog, okay, or a vinyasa or a flow, making your way. Wonderful. Couple breaths in, down dog. All right. Gently set your knees onto the floor. Sit back briefly in hero pose. Okay. Then just sit off to the side, swing the legs around to the front. Go ahead and sit in the center of your mat. Let's take our first formal back bend. So you're going to roll onto your back, draw knees into chest. Since we're engaging back bends, things that I like to do in class to prepare for back bends are certainly forward folds, and this can can be considered a forward fold. Okay? And even side bends and some twists, just to open up the sides of the body. All right, let's go ahead and set the feet onto the floor, keeping the knees bent, preparing for bridge. So you're going to inhale and just fill up your lungs. Good. Exhale completely. You can even breathe out through the mouth, feel the core engagement, and then lift your hips up into the air. We're going to hold this for a bit. So a way to help support the body, you can slide a block underneath you and sit on the block if you want, or even use your hands and lift yourself up to help support the body. Or you might bend your arms so they're at 90 degrees. Press down into the floor with the backs of your shoulders, your triceps and elbows, and just feel how the body might feel a little bit more supported as your whole front body lifts and opens. Keep breathing. Breathing deeply, sending breath as high as you can, right up to the collarbones. Feeling the upper region of the lungs. Good. Notice how active and engaged the body is in this posture too. Okay, 2 more breaths. Very strong, very good. After that second breath, just going to wiggle the toes forward a little bit, extend your arms straight up into the air so you have the space now to roll your way back down, make a soft landing. Let's extend here. So extend the legs out front, reach your arms behind you, actively reach in these opposite directions. There we go. Yes. Okay. Then when you're ready, no rush, draw the knees in towards body, start to rock forward and back. A good exhale so you can rock your way up to seated. So we can come to boat pose. Navasana. Choose the style of boat pose that you like here. I typically keep my knees bent, energized feet holding on to the legs to help extend and lift. Make sure you're at an angle. Breathing deeply. A little lift of the chin so you have a nice long neck. So the breath can easily flow here as well. Okay, we're going to move. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or even to the side of your body. Hop or step back into plank pose. Strong, straight line in the body. Let's take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees a little, send your hips into the sky, adjusting feet and hands. Let's continue our lunge sequence. And inhale to extend right leg up behind you. And exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Back to our warrior 1. Left heel will turn to the ground. Find that centered in connection, rising up. Good. Exhale, opening to the left side of the room. That'll be your warrior 2. Settling in. Good. Right knee and toes are pointing forward. You're all there. Nice. Nice lunge, lightness in the upper body. Then our side angle pose. Reaching outward, leading with the hand and ribs. Rotate the arms. Right hand reaching downward, left hand reaching upward. I mentioned before that I like to do side bends to help prepare for back bends. So maybe reaching left hand over your head towards the front of the room so you feel that extension or stretch quality. There you go. Down through the left side of your body. Yeah, a couple more breaths. Nice. Let's breathe in. And exhale to carefully turn, then fold, hands back down to the mat. Step back, plank pose, strong straight line. Shortcut to downward facing dog, hips into the air. Settle in, feel the extended torso. And our lunge sequence. Inhale, extend left leg up and back. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Once you've landed lightly, right heel can turn to the floor. The whole foot's on the floor. Rising up, reaching for the ceiling. Exhale, here's our opening to the right side of the room. Warrior 2. Yes, adjusting the feet so you really have balance in the posture. Feeling stable, strong, nice lunging action. Outstretched arms. Here comes side angle, so follow the left arm forward. Let's rotate here. Feeling free to stay up high in the pose as I am, or reaching closer to the floor or even touching the ground with the left hand. Let's take that side stretch, so the right hand reaching over your head towards the front of the room. Feel that good lengthening through the whole right side. That's it. And ready to move. First with a breath in and an exhale to fold or turn and fold, hands to the mat, back to our plank pose. You can take that same shortcut to down dog or finish a vinyasa, a flow, moving through several poses as you'd like. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Nice full breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat to your forward fold. We'll extend the spine. Exhale, fold again. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Let's come up, reach high. This exhale, bring your arms to your side. Right there, good. Let's take a moment to send a little love to our shoulders. Some circles with the shoulders. A few times backward, there you go. A few times forward. You do them together or one at a time. And some shrugs of the shoulders. Lift the shoulders up towards your earlobes and then press down. Shake it out, do it again. Lift and then press and shake it loose. And check in with your neck there too. You might nod, just kind of look down, come back up to center, then just ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. And a gentle tip back. You don't have to go back too far. Really just a lift of the chin, just slightly upward. You don't have to take it back too far. Okay? Just want to still be able to breathe deeply. And I'll be saying a little bit more about that later. Okay, then drop the chin, looking forward. Here's our little resting moment, and then we'll continue. Let's add a twist here. So let's inhale when you're ready, reaching into the sky. Exhale, take a chair pose. And as you take your seat, bring your hands to heart center. Again, this could be a high seat, can certainly be a low seat if you'd like. We're going to inhale and extend the spine like you're getting up out of the chair. Exhale, draw belly in, and a mild rotation to your right. Okay, just a twist. Doesn't necessarily have to be too far or too deep. Yeah, just enough where you feel this rotation, okay, affecting the sides of your body. And it actually affects the hips here too, and that's good. Twists can also be considered hip openers. Let's take a breath in. Exhale, let's unwind. Place your hands on your thighs. Press into the thighs to help you stand. And just reach the arms back up into the air to lengthen through the body. Exhale, arms to your side. So you can just kind of shake that out. There you go. Okay. Oh, how do you turn on the fans? Let me turn the heat down. They do turn on. But it's not that switch. And the other side. So an inhale, reaching into the air. Exhale, take your chair pose. Hands to heart center. Good. Want to feel centered, solid, and secure here. Even hips. And inhale to extend spine. Exhale, draw belly in, and now twist to your left. There. Good. If you happen to be low enough and you're rotating deeply, you might find that your right elbow comes around and touches the left knee or thigh. Inhale right where you are. And exhale, unwind. Hands on thighs, just pause there for a moment. We're just giving an opportunity for the body to come back to neutral, re-extend the spine, and then just slide down the legs to your forward fold. A nice heavy release. Okay, our bowing posture here. Then extend the spine with an inhale. Exhale, fold so you can get low enough to place hands on the floor. Walk, step, or hop both feet back into plank pose. Okay, hold in plank. Gently set your knees onto the floor. Okay. And then slowly lower your chest to the floor. And we're going to stay here for a locust pose. So we're going to keep the hands about just underneath the shoulders here. Underneath the shoulders. But you're going to roll the shoulders away from the floor. If you're able, squeeze shoulder blades together so you feel that engaged back body. Now, lengthen through your legs and point your toes as if you're reaching for the back wall. Grip your mat or the floor with your fingertips and feel like you're trying to pull yourself forward. So you're moving in opposite directions. You're pulling yourself forward, but your feet are trying to reach and take you to the back of the room. So you're lengthening. Inhale as you extend. Exhale as you're able, pull belly button up towards spine, and then lift the chest just a little bit. You don't have to lift very high at all in this posture. Okay? It's still very low, but we're really activating kind of the lumbar system. Okay, the erector muscles of the back, that engaged feeling here. Okay. And we're going to soften, just kind of lower here. Push back to hands and knees. Okay. Maybe get the hands underneath the shoulders. If you need to, tuck your toes. Let's stay in this tabletop for a moment and take cat and cow. So an inhale to lift head and heart, a little arch of the back, which is a back bend, that's cow. And then that nice rounded feeling, cat pose. Okay, and just take your time with those two movements as you flow with breath. Feel free to hold any one of those postures, perhaps that cat rounded spine feeling. Finish the breath that you're on and take one more. And just hold in stillness for a moment in this tabletop posture, and we'll get prepped for down dog. What you might do is step the hands forward a little bit, spread out your fingers, press firmly into the mat with the hands, tuck your toes, and then lift your knees. There goes the hips right up into the air. Make those adjustments. Keep that full extended spine. We're going to continue. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Hold for a moment, and then bend your knee. Bring your heel down towards your backside with a bit of a lift of your knee up towards the ceiling, which creates a mild twist. And also a nice hip opener. Hands are still pressing strongly into the ground. There you go. Breathe in right there. You're going to exhale to unwind this pose and step the right foot up to the top of the mat. Here's our warrior one. Left heel turns to the floor, rising up. Hold your warrior one. Reach high, lift. Okay. You're going to breathe in right here. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Hold warrior two for a moment. Even though it's not a back bend, I do consider it a heart opener just because the arms are reaching out. Nice opening for the front body. Let's take our side angle, reaching out, rotate the arms. Follow your left arm overhead. Reach, extend, lengthen. Yes, breathe in, we're still in motion. Exhale, let's turn and fold, hands down to the mat. Step back into plank. We're going to do that exact same flow. You're going to bring your knees to the floor first, and gently bring your chest down to the ground, getting ready for our locust pose. So nice long legs, pointed toes, hands are underneath the shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are rolling away from the ground, squeezing shoulder blades together. Yes? Long legs, pointed toes, reaching for the back wall. Grip your mat with your fingertips, pull. So you feel like you're lengthening. That's an inhale. Exhale, draw belly button up towards spine, still squeezing shoulder blades, and a little bit of a lift of the chest. Yes, keeping the neck long. So you're still probably looking down, maybe at the front edge of your mat, okay? So you haven't lifted the head too high, okay? So that's one of those indicators, like I was saying, you don't have to lift your chin too high, like we were standing a moment ago. All right, very energized body. You might even lift your feet off the floor, maybe even your hands off the floor. That's it. There. Okay. And then let's settle. Bring the hands and feet back down. Soften. Tuck toes so you can push back to hands and knees. Let's do another flow of cat and cow. So adjust your hands where they need to be here for a stable body, and then continue your flow. And inhale to cow. Exhale into cat. Just want to keep things moving smoothly here, so things don't feel too bound up as we work our way into some more back bends. Okay, finish this breath. Take one more. Pause in this tabletop. Then step hands forward just a bit. Tuck toes. Lift your knees. There goes the hips. Re-extended spine. And then our lunge sequence. Inhale, extend left leg up, reach. There we go. We're going to open this up, bend your knee, bring your heel down towards backside, lifting the knee. So we get a bit of a twist in the spine, hip opener. You're fine. Good. Breathe in right where you are. Exhale to unwind. Step through, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants into the earth. Feel that balance. Rise up. Inhale for warrior one. Hold warrior one. We'll just exhale there. Okay, one of the reasons why we're holding that posture so you can feel that right leg behind you, okay, and that hip flexor, just kind of in this section of the body, just get a nice extension. Breathe in, Exhale, go ahead and open to your warrior two. Okay. Yep, then our side angle, reaching out, rotate the arms, follow your right hand over your head, extending, more lengthening through the right side of your body. Just notice where you might feel that. And here we go, breathe in, and exhale, we'll turn, hands to the floor, step back into plank pose, continue a flow as you'd like. So maybe Chaturanga Dandasana, a regular back bend like an up dog or a cobra pose, or you can repeat that locust pose, and then right into downward facing. Good. From here, bring your knees to the earth, sit back into hero pose. If you can, hold here. If not, go ahead and take a regular seat. So here's hero pose, okay? Let me show you what's going to happen next. I'm actually going to face this way. Okay, so we're going to move into camel pose. We'll probably do camel several times. Camel pose, which is a back bend. The initial way, just watch. I'm going to lift up from our hero, okay? You might even tuck toes here, okay? You want to energize the hips by pushing the hips forward, okay? Sometimes I even imagine, like if you're doing this right up against a wall, you're pushing your hips right into the wall. So that's the idea. And also stabilizes and aligns hips right over knees. Okay, let me flip this way. And then with the hands, you're going to bring your hands behind you, right at the belt line. I usually make fists here. So you're going to do two things. You're going to push in to keep the hips over the knees, and also you're going to push gently downward to keep spaciousness in the low back. So as I inhale, I'm going to push down. At the same time, lifting up through the torso. Okay, getting long up top, more space where my thumbs are here. Exhaling, pushing forward with the hands, but then leaning back. Okay, so we're going to do this maybe a couple times just like that and just hold the posture. This is a nice entryway into camel without fully going into the pose. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're here in our hero. Go ahead and rise up. You can keep feet flat or come up to tuck toes. Activate the hips by just pushing forward. Your hands will help that as well. You might even feel your glutes engage. Okay. Then hands, you can use your fists, your palms, or even thumbs. I just use my fists. You're pushing down and forward. Down and forward, kind of simultaneously. You're going to inhale, push down, and feel like you're getting tall, lifting yourself up. Exhale, gently push forward, and then tip back. Okay? You're going to do that again. Inhale, push down, get long in the spine. Exhale, gently push forward, again, keeping hips over knees, lean back. And you can just pause right there. You could go a little deeper, but not necessary. This is fine. And your gaze is probably just kind of up. Okay? You don't have to tip the chin back too high. Okay? Just kind of neutral here. Wonderful way to do this particular back bend. All right, then soften just by coming back up. You're going to sit back and to counterbalance, bring your hands out front. Just going to go into child's pose. So you might even take the knees a bit wider on your mat and just continue to sit back and down as it's comfortable for you. Then arms forward, maybe your forehead to the ground or just close to the ground. And if your hips don't make it all the way to the heels, that's fine. You can keep the hips high. But if you can, kind of lower the chest a bit. A nickname for that style of the posture is puppy pose. Okay. So nice breathing here. Again, another counter pose to our camel, which was a back bend. This can be considered a forward fold, but also it extends the spine too. Let's take 3 more breaths. Again, one of these postures that you can come to anytime in any practice. And slowly start to rise up, return to hands and knees. Let's do another set of cat and cow, maybe just 3 breaths. Just keeping that undulation through the spine, that mobility through the back body and your pelvis. Okay, let's go through another flow here. Okay, return to a downward facing dog. Hands step forward a bit, tuck toes, lift knees, then hips. right into the sky. Strong, straight spine. Together, inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Hold it straight. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. We're going to a high lunge this time. So left heel remains lifted. You might shift your weight back towards that lifted left heel. Hands again become light. Long spine so you can hinge your way up. Reach up. Once the arms are up, reach high and then lunge low. Now, what you'll also want to do is hug the legs, inner thighs towards center here. Squeezing, okay? Okay, because you're going to bend your elbows at 90 degrees. Feel like you're going through that imaginary door, heart forward, that engagement in your back body, and you're just going to lean back a little bit like you just did in that camel pose. Even tip the chin up just a little bit. Now this changes balance because you've changed your focus, your focal point. So you want to make sure your stabilization is good here. So squeezing inner thighs towards center. Let's shoot the arms straight up, look forward, open up warrior two. Let's reverse the warrior. So your right palm will float up into the air, reach high. You might even reach behind you slightly, getting a side bend. Yeah. That's okay. And then just windmill, so you can bring the right hand down, left hand up and overhead. Good extension, lengthening, breathing in because we're going to move right away. And exhale, let's turn, fold, hands to the mat, step back, plank pose. Bring your knees to the floor, sit back, hero. Okay? Before we do the other side, we're going to do camel again. Okay? So you can do camel the exact same way. Okay? Here's another way you can do it. You can just watch for a moment. So here's my hero. I am going to come up because I am going to tuck my toes, okay, under so the heels are higher. I'm going to sit back down. Okay, so I get a little stretch for the toes. But from here, I can easily reach behind me and actually hold or grab my heels. That's going to change as I start to rise. I'm going to inhale and start to lift. My fingertips are just going to end up just kind of touching the heels. But as I lift, that's an inhale. Then exhale here. So I haven't lifted all the way. I'm still at an angle. I still want to get the hips forward. I need more extension. So I'm going to inhale and lift like I'm being lifted by my sternum up towards ceiling. Exhale, send belt buckle forward, getting hips over the knees. I'm just touching my heels back here. Same thing with the chin. You could tip the chin back, but listen to my voice as I tip my head back. I really get constrained here and I really can't breathe. Okay, so I tip my chin down, but I'm still in the back bend. Okay, so that's another version of camel. You can always do that first version. Okay, alrighty. So if you're in hero, you can come all the way up and do version A, or come up a little, tuck toes, sit back down, reach back, catch those heels, and inhale just to start to lift a little bit. Exhale, hold. Inhale, feel like you're being lifted up, okay, by your sternum and heart, and then exhale, sending pelvis forward. Inhale, still feeling like you're being lifted because the torso is trying to rise up out of the pelvis. Exhale, send belt buckle forward. If you're just reaching back and you're not even touching the heels, this still works. Okay, if you need to support your back, place your hands on your low back as we did earlier. Okay? Again, check in with your chin, check in with your neck, check in with your breathing. Can you still take deep breaths? Do you feel like you're being choked? One more breath. Okay, if you're in version B, the second version, okay, rather than trying to get up, just sit back down. Just sit back down, heel, hips to heels, back to our child's pose. Okay, hands out front. Maybe take the knees wide. Sit. Even treat this as an extension, meaning you might be a little bit more active. Reaching forward, hips reaching back. Getting that lengthening quality, that release feeling after kind of that tension that can sometimes build in the low back in a back bend. Very nice. 3 more breaths. Take your time. If you need more time, more breaths here, feel free to stay here a little bit longer. Take your time to come back up to hands and knees. Adjusting the knees so they're underneath your hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. So you can take 3 breaths, cat and cow. Again, just keeping that fluidity through the spine. We'll set up for the lunge sequence on the other side. You'll step your hands forward, tuck your toes, lift knees and hips. As the hips rise and hands press into the floor, remember you're extending the spine here. Okay. And when you're ready, inhale, extend left leg straight up and back. Keep it straight. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat for your high lunge on this side. Right heel stays lifted, shift the weight back, hinge your way up, reaching to the air. Once you're tall, reach high, lunge low. Okay, we're going to do that lunging back bend that we did earlier on the other side. So make sure you connect to your bottom section, squeezing inner thighs to center. Certainly pull belly button in. Okay, go ahead and bend your elbows. Go through your imaginary door, opening up through the heart, engaging the back. Here, I didn't say it the other time on the other side, but maybe bend this right knee a little. It might give you a little bit more room to lean back. Okay, and even as you lean back, feel like your torso, heart is lifting up. Squeezing to inner thighs. Okay, we'll stand up tall, reach, straight arms, pivot right heel to the floor. Here's our warrior 2. We're going to reverse the warrior, left palm turns up, reach up. Let's get our side bends. We'll hold this for a couple breaths. Good. A little bit of a cartwheel into side angle. So left hand comes down, right hand up and overhead. Reach and extend through right side body. We're going to move right away, breathing in. Exhale, turn. Fold, hands to the floor, step back, plank pose. Take a shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees, hips into the sky. Okay. Once again, bring the knees to the floor. Sit back into hero. Again, if this isn't comfortable, take a different seat. We're doing camel one more time. Okay, another version. We did A, here's B, I'm going to give you a C. If you want to, if your body allows you to go a little deeper. We'll see if my body can respond to this today. Okay, so same setup. I'm going to tuck my toes, sit back, catch the heels, roll shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades together. Okay, another action I didn't say earlier. We're going to inhale and lift up, hold on the exhale. Inhale, feel like my torso, okay, my sternum is being lifted up. Exhale, send belt buckle forward. Inhale, still rising, making more space in the low back so I can send pelvis forward on the exhale. Again, this is version B, so you can stay here. Version C, you can flatten the feet. Here, it lowers you, which means you have to lift up higher, send the pelvis farther forward. To go even deeper, to really create more of a back bend style, you're going to walk your hands towards your calves, even the bends of your knees. This is about as far as I can go. Same thing, to get out of the pose, rather than trying to get up, I like to sit and then take it back into the child's pose. Okay? Alrighty, so coming up, you can do version A, so ported back here, or come up just high enough to tuck toes, sit back down, hands behind, touch heels, roll shoulders back. Inhale just to lift, exhale, hold. Inhale, keep rising up, making space in the side body and back body. Exhale, pelvis forward. Inhale, lift, exhale, forward. Okay, maybe if your fingertips are still touching the heels, we're in our version B. If you want to try version C, can you flatten the feet? Whole. Okay. Again, you have to lift a little higher, send pelvis farther forward. You can stay there or even walk hands kind of up the legs to your calves or bends of your elbows. It just bends you farther back. Check in with your neck, breathing. Okay, to come out of the pose, just lean back, sit back, arms out front so you can keep that spine long. Then extend. You can be in puppy pose or child's pose and actively reach with some deep breaths. Yeah. Let's take 3 more breaths here, more if you need it. extended as we can, spaciousness in that low back. Slowly rise up to hands and knees when you're ready. Another flow through cat and cow as you like. Okay, 3 breaths perhaps. Those back bends can be a little bit more mild, but the rounded spine cat pose might be more significant. With that little bit of a core connection as you draw belly button up towards spine. Okay, we're going to do another flow. Pause in the tabletop, step hands forward, tuck toes, lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. Remember, you're still continuing to lengthen spine in your down dog, keeping the body long as possible. Let's get ready to flow here. Inhale, extend right leg up, right leg bend and twist. Now you can stay just like this, or rotate a bit more, even step all the way over. Be aware of objects on the floor there, and flip it over into wild thing. Yes, once you've landed, you might turn your left foot around, so all 10 toes, yes, are pointing to the back of the room, so your feet are flat on the ground. Yes, you're pressing down, you're lifting up, and you're in a twisted back bend. Breathing in, exhale, flip it over, right hand down, right leg up into the air, right foot to the top of the mat, high lunge, left heel stays lifted, we're rising up. Once we're tall, we're reaching high, lunge low, hug the inner thighs towards center, okay? Let's bend the elbows, bend the left knee, walk through the doorway, tip. Okay, so we've got this lunging back bend action here. You feel like you're lifting the chest straight up towards the sky. Let's rise up, re-extend the arms, that back leg, pivot left heel to the floor, opening to your warrior 2. Quickly reverse your warrior, reach high, maybe slightly behind you for the right side body stretch, and then down to the other side. Right hand comes down, left hand up and over your head for your left side body stretch. Breathe in, there you go. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose, complete the sequence as you're able. Chaturanga Dandasana, so we can create a back bend here. Might be up dog. Check in, you might feel like, oh, I'm really deep in my back bends now. Exhale, downward facing dog. If you need to rest, please do so, okay? Once you're in down dog, be sure to re-extend the spine. Other side when you're ready. Inhale, extend left leg up. Bend and twist. Stay there or flip the dog. So you're in wild thing. You'll turn your right foot around, plant the feet so your hips can lift. So you almost like bridge in a way, or wheel in a pose in a way, but you're twisted. Breathe in. And our exhale to flip it back over. Left hand down, left leg up into the air. High lunge. Left foot to the top of the mat. Find that center. Rise. Reach and lunge. Hug to center. Let's bend those elbows. Bend the right knee. Go through the door. Tip. Okay, shoot those arms straight up. Straighten that back leg. Pivot open, warrior 2. Reverse your warrior. Reach left side body stretch. Quick cartwheel to side angle. Left hand down. Right hand up and overhead reach. We're breathing in. And exhale. Here we go. Turn. Hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Chaturanga. Choose a back bend here. See how your up dogs feel. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take one more child's pose. Set the knees down, sit back, make it active. And make it relaxing too. So the activity or action here is to lengthen, make space, and then relax it. You might even rest your forehead on the mat. Hands kind of reach behind you or reach down the legs towards your feet so your shoulders can relax. So you can have a little bit more of a disengagement here from that very active flow. Breathe into the parts of the body that can really use the breath. For me, I can really sense this in my low back. So I'm imagining I'm sending the breath right into those areas. Good. Take 3 more breaths here. Slowly rise to hero. But this time, once you're in hero, just slide off to the side, maybe swing the legs around to the front. Maybe come to Cobbler's pose, bound angle. So the feet come together here. Maybe hold onto your toes or your ankles and just sit up nice and tall, allowing just gravity to kind of pull the knees down. You can even tuck something underneath the knees if you want. Okay. It's a hip opener, but it's also a way to help release the back a little bit too. Okay. Let me show you one of the last back bends we're going to do. I'm calling it a supported fish pose. Okay, we're going to be using a bolster. So folks at home, if you don't have a bolster, you might take a yoga mat and even roll it up in a towel or a blanket so you have something kind of big and bulky that you can drape your body over. Okay, let me show you this first. I've got a block behind me, and I'll show you why. It's the same thing with my neck. If my head goes back too far, I feel like I'm going to choke. Okay, so I'm sitting up against my bolster. I drape myself over the nice firm bolster. So here my head would come to the floor. Actually, this is okay. If this was up higher and this would tip back, this doesn't feel comfortable for me. So I bring in a blanket or just something that just to prop and support my head. And then you can just really just relax here. Okay, so you're in this natural back bend, but you don't have to do much. Okay? All right, so let's get set up for that pose. So come out of your bound angle, grab your bolster or props for that. If you need something behind you like a blanket or a towel or a block, you can use that. Then you just sit right up against your bolster and carefully lean back and drape yourself over the bolster. Your head might come to the floor. Maybe that feels good for you. Okay? If you need a little extra support, you know, it has something that has a little bit of a lift, like a folded blanket or a block, something like that. And then just relax. Okay? Now for your legs, you can do anything with the legs. The legs can be straight out front. You can just bend your knees so where your feet are on the floor. Or, yeah, that cobbler pose position for that hip opener. Okay? Yes, just like that. You can kind of play with what feels good, okay, that you can hold for a little bit. Okay? But mainly the opportunity to disengage in a back bend. Because most of our postures, pretty much all of our back bends today, are very engaging. This can be a wonderful, just restorative posture, okay, in lieu of a shavasana, perhaps. Okay, you can kind of drape yourself over a bolster or rolled up blanket. Very nice. So when we do eventually come to Shavasana, feel free to repeat this pose if you'd like. For now, just take a few more breaths. Count out 3 more breaths to yourself. To get out of this pose, because you're on a bolster, you might want to roll to one side rather than trying to lift yourself straight up. Maybe roll to your side, roll off the bolster, or slide it out of the way. And then lie back down. When you come back down to the earth, just hug your knees into chest. So you're moving from a back bend into a forward fold. Okay, just hug the knees in. Even feel free to lift your chest and chin up towards your knees for a little rounded feeling. If you'd like. There you go. Yeah, some movement, that rocking sensation. A little massage for the back might feel quite nice. Excellent. Take another hip opener, perhaps happy baby pose. And just take the knees out to the side and maybe feet up towards the ceiling, holding on to the soles of the feet or your ankles, or hooking your fingers around big toes. Either hold in stillness or, yeah, add movement. There could be a rocking of the whole body, or you might extend one leg And then bend it and extend the other leg. Yeah, just a little playfulness. Two more breaths. We'll do one more hip opener while we're still lying on our backs. Another version of Cobbler's pose, it's reclining Cobbler's pose, the more classic version. You're going to bring the soles of the feet together, hold on to your feet, your toes should be pointing up towards the ceiling. Keep that sensation, but with some effort, you're going to try to push your heels down towards your pelvis, and then send your knees or legs forward towards the front edge of your mat. It'll mimic the seated version that we just did a little earlier. Okay, but now we're just doing the lying down version. This too can potentially help release the back. And we'll do one more release, and that'll be a twist. So here, maybe release the feet first, hug the knees in to center, hug them in toward your body. Soften that up a bit, and then send your knees over to the left as you extend your right arm to the right, creating spinal twist. What I like to do is once I'm in the pose, take a full breath in, exhale with the sigh. Just feel the body really just relax into the pose. Let's take 3 more breaths on this side. When you're ready, come back to center, pause in center so there's that realignment. And then take knees over to the right, send left arm to the left. Same thing if you'd like. Once you're in the pose, inhale, exhale with a sigh. Three more breaths. When you're ready to move, slowly return to center. Pause. Let's extend the body. Extend the legs out front. Reach your arms behind you. Reach in these opposite directions. Breathe in. Feel the energy in the body. As you exhale, bring the arms down to your side and completely relax so you can just melt into Shavasana. You can just stay here for your final position or bring in your props, any props that you might have to support your pose. If you want to elevate the upper body or elevate the lower body. Okay. Your resting position could also be on your side. You can even come up to a seated pose. Continue to hold in stillness. Focus on your breathing.
into the awareness of your breath. And with this awareness, take 5 slow, deep breaths. As you breathe in deeply, perhaps fill up your heart space. Just acknowledging your heart opening practice in all of our back bends. A nurturing of your heart center. Feeling movement also return to your body. As that movement returns, take your time and slowly roll onto either side of your body. Perhaps a pause in that nurturing pose. Again, an acknowledgement of nurturing yourself, of loving yourself, this heart-centered practice. And then continue to rise, moving in slow motion until you're seated tall and proud. Your arms can just stay relaxed by your side, hands can rest in your lap, or feel free to bring hands to heart center. Just take one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow, saying, Namaste. Namaste.